What if I told you that 2,000 years ago, humans built a machine that could predict eclipses, track planets, and even schedule the Olympics, without electricity? Sounds like science fiction, right? But it's real. Meet the Antikythera Mechanism, often called the world's first analog computer. Discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Greece in 1901, this ancient device is made entirely of bronze gears and dials, carefully engineered to calculate the movements of the sun, moon, and planets. At first, scientists were stunned. How could the Greeks, famous for art and philosophy, create something so mechanically advanced? This device could predict astronomical events decades in advance, showing a level of precision that wouldn't appear again for over 1,000 years. Every gear is hand-cut, perfectly aligned, and designed to work in harmony. Imagine craftsmen building miniature solar systems in bronze, capable of solving complex calculations that modern students struggle with today. Some historians even believe entire workshops in ancient Greece were devoted to creating such machines, though almost none survived the passage of time. What makes the Antikythera mechanism even more mysterious is its disappearance from history. Medieval Europe wouldn't see anything this advanced until the 14th century, leaving us to wonder, how did ancient humans develop such genius and then lose it? Holding this device in your mind, it's impossible not to feel awe. The Antikythera mechanism isn't just a relic, it's a mind-blowing testament to human innovation, and it's the kind of story that keeps viewers glued to the screen until the very last gear. Hero's steam engine, the first ever steam-powered device. Imagine a world where people could power machines with nothing but steam. 2,000 years ago. Sounds impossible, right? But one ancient engineer actually did it. Meet Hero of Alexandria, a Greek inventor and mathematician who lived in the 1st century AD. He created a device called the aeolipile, essentially the world's first steam engine. While most people think steam engines are a product of the Industrial Revolution, Hero's invention proves the ancients were already experimenting with harnessing steam power. The aeolipile was a simple sphere mounted on a pivot. Water inside the sphere was heated, turning into steam, which escaped through small nozzles. This caused the sphere to spin, basically, a steam-powered spinning wheel. It might look simple, but for its time, it was groundbreaking engineering. What's even crazier is that Hero described ways to use this principle for automatic temple doors and fountains, showing that he imagined practical uses for steam hundreds of years before the concept of engines was mainstream. Yet, despite its genius, the technology was never fully developed or widely adopted. Ancient civilizations knew the principle but didn't turn it into industry, leaving the invention forgotten for over a millennium. The aeolipile isn't just a quirky gadget, it's a symbol of human curiosity and imagination, a machine that could have changed the course of history if someone had just taken it further. It's a fascinating reminder that the seeds of modern technology were planted far earlier than we ever realized. Next time you see a spinning fan or a steam engine, remember, the ancients might have invented it first. The Baghdad battery, ancient electricity? What if I told you that 2,000 years ago, people might have known how to generate electricity? No wires, no power plants, just a mysterious jar. Meet the Baghdad battery, an artifact discovered near Baghdad, Iraq, in the 1930s. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary clay jar. But inside, archaeologists found a copper cylinder and an iron rod, sealed with asphalt. Some scientists believe that if you filled it with an acidic liquid, it could produce a small electric current, making it possibly the world's first battery. The real mystery? We have no records explaining what it was used for. Some theories suggest it powered electroplating tools, creating thin metal coatings on objects. Others think it was a ritual object, perhaps even used in mysterious or symbolic ways. Either way, it challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient technology. What's even more fascinating is that this battery predates modern electrical science by almost 2,000 years. While we often credit Benjamin Franklin or Alessandro Volta for electricity, the Baghdad battery hints that the ancients might have experimented with electricity far earlier than we imagined. Whether it was a scientific tool or a mysterious religious artifact, the Baghdad battery reminds us that history is full of unexplained genius. It's one of those inventions that makes you pause and wonder, how much knowledge did we actually lose over time? Next time you plug in your phone, think about the possibility that humans may have been harnessing electricity long before we were taught in school. The Roman concrete, stronger than modern buildings? What if I told you that 2,000-year-old Roman buildings are still standing today, while some modern concrete structures crumble in decades? The secret lies in a mysterious material they perfected. Ancient Romans developed concrete that could last thousands of years, and scientists are still studying it to understand why. Unlike modern concrete, which can weaken over time, Roman concrete actually gets stronger when exposed to water, thanks to a unique mixture of volcanic ash, lime, and seawater. This isn't just durability, it's almost magical chemistry that modern engineers struggle to replicate. Some of the most impressive examples include the Pantheon in Rome, with its massive unreinforced dome, and ancient Roman piers submerged in the ocean. These structures have survived earthquakes, storms, and centuries of erosion, standing as testaments to Roman ingenuity. What's fascinating is that the Romans didn't just stumble upon this by accident. They experimented with ingredients, proportions, and techniques, creating a material that was far ahead of its time. Modern scientists now study Roman concrete to find eco-friendly alternatives because it's not only strong but also incredibly durable and sustainable. The lesson? Ancient inventions weren't just odd curiosities, they were practical solutions crafted with incredible skill and understanding of nature. Roman concrete proves that human innovation wasn't a straight line. Sometimes, we reach peaks of genius and then lose the knowledge for centuries. Next time you walk past a crumbling building, remember, the Romans might have had the secret to building forever. The Leonardo da Vinci self-propelled cart, the first robot? What if I told you that Leonardo da Vinci, over 500 years ago, designed a machine that could move on its own, basically an ancient robot? And it wasn't science fiction. Yes, long before Tesla cars or modern robots, Leonardo da Vinci sketched plans for a self-propelled cart. Using a system of springs, gears, and levers, this cart could move forward without anyone pushing it. It even had the potential to follow a programmed path. Think of it as one of the very first programmable machines in history. What's fascinating is that Leonardo was experimenting with automation and mechanics at a time when most people were focused on painting or sculpting. He imagined machines that could carry messages, perform simple tasks, or even entertain, all powered by clever mechanics rather than electricity. Although Da Vinci's self-propelled cart was never built in his lifetime, modern engineers have recreated working versions from his sketches, and the results are astonishing. The cart moves smoothly, turns corners, and proves that Leonardo wasn't just an artist, he was a visionary engineer centuries ahead of his time. This invention challenges everything we think we know about the history of technology. While we often associate robotics with the 20th century, Leonardo's designs show that humans have been dreaming of automated machines for centuries. Next time you see a robot vacuum or a self-driving car, remember, Leonardo da Vinci might have imagined it first. The ancient Egyptian surgical tools, shockingly advanced medicine. What if I told you that 3,000 years ago, Egyptians were performing surgeries with tools that could rival some used in the 19th century? Prepare to be amazed. Ancient Egypt wasn't just about pyramids and pharaohs, they were pioneers in medicine and surgery. Archaeologists have uncovered metal surgical tools, including scalpels, forceps, and even specialized bone saws, crafted with incredible precision. These instruments were designed to perform complex procedures like trepanation, a type of skull surgery where holes were carefully drilled to treat injuries or illness. What makes this even more fascinating is that Egyptian doctors documented procedures in hieroglyphics. Their medical papyri included instructions on wound treatment, fractures, and even pain relief. They had knowledge of anatomy and antiseptic techniques that wouldn't become standard in Europe for thousands of years. These surgical tools weren't just for emergencies, they were engineered for precision, comfort, and repeated use, showing that the Egyptians understood both form and function. Some tools were so well designed that modern researchers have been able to replicate surgeries using them successfully, proving their effectiveness even today. It's mind-blowing to think that while most of the world was struggling with superstition and rudimentary medicine, the Egyptians were already practicing surgery with astonishing skill. Their inventions weren't just tools, they were a window into human ingenuity and scientific thinking far ahead of their time. Next time you go to the doctor, remember, some of the tools in the operating room have ancient ancestors older than many civilizations themselves. Imagine a weapon so terrifying that it could burn even on water, and it was invented over 1,500 years ago. Sounds impossible? The Byzantines made it real. This was the infamous Greek fire, a secret weapon used by the Byzantine Empire around the 7th century AD. During naval battles, it allowed Byzantine ships to shoot flames that would stick to enemy vessels, even in the middle of the sea. The formula was top secret, and historians still don't know exactly how it worked, but it was likely a mix of petroleum, quicklime, and other flammable substances. Greek fire wasn't just a weapon, it was psychological warfare. Opponents feared it so much that they sometimes surrendered without a fight. Ships engulfed in flames created chaos, panic, and destruction. Even today, naval historians marvel at the ingenuity required to develop such a weapon without modern chemistry or engines. What's even more impressive is that the Byzantines developed delivery systems, including siphons and flamethrower-like mechanisms, to spray the fire with terrifying precision. This wasn't just a simple torch. They essentially invented early military technology that was decades, if not centuries, ahead of its time. Greek fire is a perfect example of how ancient inventors combined science, strategy, and secrecy to dominate their world. It reminds us that innovation wasn't always about convenience. It was sometimes about survival, dominance, and pure ingenuity. Next time you see a modern flamethrower or naval weapon, remember, the idea has roots in a secret formula from 1,500 years ago. The Chinese seismoscope, detecting earthquakes 2,000 years ago. What if I told you that over 2,000 years ago, the Chinese could detect earthquakes hundreds of miles away, without seismographs, sensors, or modern technology? It sounds impossible, but it's true. In 132 AD, the Chinese inventor Zhong Heng created the world's first seismoscope, a device that could detect the direction of distant earthquakes. Imagine a large bronze vessel, with 8 dragon heads on the outside, each holding a small ball in its mouth. When the ground shook, the device would trigger one of the balls to drop from a dragon's mouth into a corresponding toad-shaped receptacle, indicating the earthquake's direction. This wasn't just a clever toy, it was a life-saving invention. In a time without communication networks, officials could quickly send help to affected regions, saving countless lives. The precision and creativity behind the seismoscope are astonishing, especially considering that modern seismology wouldn't truly develop until the 19th century. Zhong Heng's invention shows that the ancients were not only observant of the natural world, but also capable of designing complex mechanisms to understand it. The seismoscope represents a brilliant mix of science, engineering, and practical problem-solving that few would expect from 2,000 years ago. Next time you see an earthquake alert on your phone, remember, the first warning system for earthquakes was a bronze dragon device built over 2 millennia ago. The Roman dodecahedron, the ancient mystery device no one can explain. Imagine discovering an ancient object, perfectly crafted, made of bronze, found all across Europe, and to this day, no one knows what it was used for. Not historians. Not scientists. No one. Meet the Roman dodecahedron. These small, hollow, 12-sided objects have been discovered in parts of the former Roman Empire, dating back nearly 2,000 years. Each face has a different sized hole, and small knobs sit at every corner. They are carefully designed, symmetrical, and clearly important enough to be made from valuable bronze. But here's the mystery: there are no written records explaining them. Some experts believe they were measuring tools, possibly used to calculate distances for military purposes. Others suggest they were religious objects, maybe used in rituals or fortune-telling. A few even think they could have been ancient knitting tools or candle holders. The truth? We simply don't know. That's what makes the Roman dodecahedron so fascinating. Unlike most ancient inventions, where we can trace their purpose and development, this object remains a complete enigma. It challenges the idea that we fully understand Roman civilization. Imagine holding a device in your hands that was clearly important to someone 2,000 years ago, but its purpose has been completely erased from history. It's like finding a smartphone in the future with no idea what it does. Sometimes the most bizarre inventions aren't the ones we understand, they're the ones that leave us questioning everything we thought we knew.